I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Park Pals. Thanks so much for being here. Today, our sweet, beautiful, perfect Maddie could not join us, but she is very much missed and we send her love. But today we have a special treat for you, Minni Jo, or MJ Noble, or as you may know her, Natalie from Parks and Rec. She joined me today to talk all about Parks and Rec, obviously, and working with the cast and crew and everything. But she also was amazing and generous with her time and shared so much about her music life. And kind of, I loved the route that we went on with this. We talked a lot about the industry and how it's kind of male dominated in a lot of ways, and how that's changing and how we can change it and how she is changing it currently right now at this very second. So I'm super stoked. She's just a badass and she does all of her own music. And I was super excited to talk about, femininity and fantasy and being a fairy. And it was really lovely to have this great conversation. So I'm going to shut up and let you guys talk to you're not talking to her, but I'm gonna let you guys listen to Minni Jo. And I just really thank her for being on the show. And let us know if you guys have any other questions for her. Please follow her at mj.noble. That is her Instagram and where you can follow her music. She has some festivals coming up next year. So let's just go support everybody and support ladies and support art. Couldn't think of that word. All right. Okay. Enough of me. Thanks so much, MJ. Please enjoy, everybody. Also, if you haven't rated or reviewed, let me know because you need to be rating and reviewing on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get podcasts. And we may or may not put MJ's song at the end. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Please enjoy Minni Jo or MJ or AKA Natalie.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Background. Yes, I can hear you.
Yay. I'm using my microphone, so just wanted to make sure.
Good. That's awesome. Thank you so much for working with me on the schedule. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Things happen. Yeah, that's all good.
Awesome. Well, how's your day going? What's going on?
It's good. Just busy right now, but yeah, I'm so stoked to be doing this. This is cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. One of our first things that we kind of ask everybody is kind of how you got your job on Parks in the first place. How did you come to be April's sister?
So I auditioned, which is how a lot of actually all my jobs I've gotten. And it's funny because when I first got the call for the audition, my agent was like, listen, they don't know if they want to go, what way they want to go with the sister. They are thinking they might want her to be just like her or the polar opposite. So we'll see what happens, just do your best, do what if you feel is right. And they didn't know what they wanted. They really didn't. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. They almost did the opposite.
Did you get a breakdown for it?
Huh?
Did you get a breakdown for it when you first went in?
I think I got I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. I think I got a little, I think it was maybe a scene or something that I had to do.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. They gave me a scene to work on and a short little description.
Yeah.
But not much.
So when you went in, did you choose to do it a certain way or did they have an idea when you went in?
I think they already knew my type, just the way that I looked and everything. They were like, okay, she'll be the girl that will have her do it just like her.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was like, all right, I got this.
Nice. Well, because what was that? Do you remember what the first audition was? Because I think one of your first episodes was in like season 2 or something like that.
It was season 2. The first episode was, I don't remember the name, but it was when Ron Swanson comes to her house.
That's right.
And I'm there at the house.
Yes. Oh, yes. It was 94 meetings.
Yes.
And April like screws up. So yes. Okay. Gotcha. And then, yeah, you don't even say anything really in that one, do you?
I don't say anything. No.
But you have a really hilarious, like, just cold shoulder to him as he says something to you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to remember, but
yeah.
It was funny.
I remember that very well. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, wait, do you remember the audition itself or any sort of scenes? Because was that a scene in itself? Because you didn't say anything in that first one.
No, I think a lot of times when they're auditioning characters like this, they don't really know what's going to happen with the character. Like it might just be a 1 episode thing, or they might scrap it totally. Yeah. Or so I think they usually just give some random scene type thing that like, oh, maybe this will happen and maybe we'll have her do something like this. But I can't remember really what it was, but it definitely, there was lines for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I remember I've talked to some people who have said like what was in their audition was not exactly, but very, very similar to what happened on the actual show. So it's always fascinating to hear like some people, it's completely opposite because that's what I feel like Parks and Rec and The Office do. They kind of just like switch it up every now and again and they don't really know where it's going. And sometimes it's like, we know exactly who we want. Let's just give them this scene, you know?
I think they definitely asked me to roll my eyes. I think I remember that for sure.
Oh my God, that is so funny. That's amazing. Do you have any memories of like being on set with Chris Pratt at all? Because I know that one scene is so funny when you are taking pictures of him and
he's getting arrested,
saying you don't know who he is.
Yeah, he was such a joy. He was such a nice guy. Like it's so cool that he's just like blown up into this huge superstar because he was just like so down to earth and just cool and just like humble and like really sweet and nice to hang out with, you know?
Yeah.
And now he's like this huge superstar and I'm like, I'm so happy for you, dude.
I know. There are quite a few people like that on this show. Not just the leads, but there's a lot of, random characters that are just skyrocketing, you know?
Like
and it's
everyone.
Really interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel
and
like
you're
it was
part of that.
Aw. Yeah, I'm doing my thing, you know?
Yeah, totally. What about Aubrey Plaza? Because I always think it's so fun when you guys have scenes together, not only you two, but it's like, there was that one scene when you have to do like, what is it? Chris Pratt's or Andy is doing his like bucket list and you're filming them in like a fight sequence. It's so funny.
Oh yeah. I kind of forgot about that one.
Well, again, I don't think you really say anything. You're just holding up this like digital camera.
Yeah, I'm like filming them and there's like broken glass or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, all that stuff it was so funny to like be on set during everything because like you get the script and you're like, okay, I know what's going to happen, but then they film it a bunch of times, like, but then they film a bunch of times of just like improv.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll like go off the script, you know, and it's just like you're just trying not to laugh because it's like you don't know what everyone's gonna do, and you're just like, am I cool here?
I know. Oh my God, that's amazing. Well, how was speaking of that, like for the rehearsal process, were you on set for just one day and then you would rehearse and then film, or did you have to go in multiple days?
My stuff was pretty small, so I was just there like the day of. Like I didn't get to do any of the script readings or anything like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like
which would make sense, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just like I don't need to be there for that, but it is really fun when I've gotten bigger parts and I get to go to like the table read and stuff like that, and everyone's reading it for the first time, and
that
stuff is cool. I didn't get to do that with Parks and Rec, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I also really love the scene we just reviewed, like a couple weeks ago, we just reviewed Andy and April's fancy party, which turns out to be their wedding.
Yes.
And I loved that was like your shining moment. It was so great. You did a little speech and you didn't really even say anything, but Aubrey Plaza / April is crying.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what did I say? It's so funny too because my voice cracks during the speech, which
really?
Yeah, like my brother made fun of me. He's like, haha, your voice cracked. I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's like there forever.
You know? I didn't even notice, truly. I guess I just thought it was part of the character.
I mean, I don't know. It just happened, you know?
Yeah, totally. Well, no, you said something about you lost your gray sweater and you needed your gray sweater. And then you had like one line about how like Andy's kind of cool, I guess, the end.
Yeah, he's like sort of cool or something. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you noticed this, but she's wearing the gray sweater in another scene.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not. I know that she is, but I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
She stole it.
She did steal the hoodie.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Oh my God.
That was a really cool episode to do because everybody was there.
Yes.
So I got to meet everyone.
Mm-hmm. And seeing Rob Lowe as Chris Traeger dance on the dance floor so weirdly just would have been a dream, I imagine.
Yeah. Like everybody on that show was like so sweet and so funny and so professional. And it was just like amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any memories that kind of stick out from being on set?
I don't know. Everyone was so nice. Nick Offerman was so nice. And I got to meet his wife too.
No way.
Yeah. She just like happened to be there one of the days that I was shooting.
Nice.
And he introduced me to her and I was like, "Oh, feels really nice, you know? I'm just like this small little character, but everyone like is treating me with so much respect and
yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that before, actually, where first of all, she'll come on set, but secondly, that especially Amy Poehler, everyone who had a scene with her that was a guest star, co-star, whatever, was just saying so many good things about how she treats you like so respectfully and like you're a lead, basically.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She treats everyone with respect and just like I've done a lot of like little like guest star roles on things. And like, that was definitely the most like everyone was like the sweetest on that show.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good to hear. I feel like I hear that from so many people and it just never gets old hearing that.
Yeah. I think it was a really special show for sure for like everybody on it. Like you could tell it was like a big, like you were saying, it was almost like being on that show like opened a lot of doors for a lot of the actors.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about that. The energy had to be like really positive and really good, and supporting people and
yeah.
You don't forget that stuff.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was going to say. I feel like it was like a teaching ground for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is what they kind of cultivated in The Office as well, as what I've heard from Mike Schur and everything. But how was Aubrey Plaza working with her? Was that so fun?
Yeah, she's so awesome. Yeah.
That is so cool to be able to say that. I mean, the casting was great. You
I know.
really look similar to
we
her.
We do look like each other. It's interesting.
Yeah. So did you guys like hang out outside of set or anything? I would imagine maybe not because it's so short, but you never know.
Not really. I mean, like I got to go to the wrap party and we hung out at the wrap party, which was fun.
Yeah.
But her career really took off after that. Like she was just like boom, boom, boom. And like now, like I'm watching White Lotus right now and like she's so good in that. And I'm just like, it's really cool.
That's awesome. I need to watch the second season. I just finished the first season and I've heard the second season only gets better.
Yeah. The second season kind of starts off like you're kind of like, oh, this isn't as good as the first one, but it is.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the tip.
Yeah.
Because the first season, if I'm being honest, I was like, what's going on? It's like, it's not paying off for me, the anxiety that I feel. Where is like the payoff of like what bad is going to happen?
Yeah.
Episode, which like, but that's also just my like, my own thing.
Yeah. That's like what you're into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I would totally watch it just for Aubrey Plaza for the second one. So
no, it's cool because I haven't really seen her do a role like this yet. So it's cool to see her playing a different kind of role.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Well, tell me about, or do you remember anything about like your wardrobe or like the haircut that they gave you? Did you like keep all of that stuff? And meaning by keep, I mean like, was it your own stuff? I know a lot of people bring on their own wardrobe.
Actually, I think it's funny that you mentioned that. I think the hoodie that I'm wearing in the first episode that I'm in was actually my hoodie. It's like a purple.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was like an American Apparel hoodie. Like I used to love those American Apparel hoodies back in the day. Yeah. And I think that was mine.
Okay.
And I think my hair was just my hair.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel like it was very like emo scene kid type of vibes, which I love. And I think it fits so well.
I think it's just the haircut that I had at the time.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I remember I did dye my hair at a certain point and changed it, and then they like brought me back. I can't remember which season it was, and I had to like dye my hair brown again.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because it was, I think I had like blonde highlights or something like that.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense.
Shit, I gotta go back.
I know.
Dye brown.
I guess Natalie technically wouldn't have blonde highlights, but she could.
She could. I think maybe she could now.
Yeah. Now she's trying to like.
TV's kind of funny.
Cool.
Like TV, I feel like the way you look is very like, there's not a whole lot of like edginess in TV. Like they want like, even like this hair that I have right now is like a little crazy for acting.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I hear you because I do acting sometimes too. And I feel like I can't have any headshots. I would dye my hair pink like tomorrow, but my headshots can't be pink, you know? Or like if I audition for something and then my hair is pink in the audition and the headshot is blonde, it's like. So I've been getting really into wigs.
Oh yeah, no, wigs are great.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
Just take it off.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like because I do music too, and I'm like, you know, very like funky creative person, and I'm always like wanting to like dye my hair crazy colors. I'm like, I can't do it. But even this, I feel like, I don't know, my headshots have this look on it right now, so I've just kept it for like a year.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, I feel like it kind of pigeonholes you a little bit. Because it's like they'd only give you a role really of a character that was maybe edgy or something.
Right. You know? No, I hear that 100%. They would prefer to see something a little bit more like standardized, I guess, and then they can fuck with it later if they want to.
I do see like in commercials now, though, I do see like a lot of different types now. Yeah. Like I see a lot of alternative people like with like blue hair and things like that. And I've actually booked roles in the past when I just had straight brown hair, where they put like tattoos all over me, like fake tattoos all over me, and like blue hair and stuff like that. So they'll put it on you if they want you for the role.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Right. Oh my gosh. Well, did you have a good time with the set, or not set designer, the like hair and makeup people? Did they do a lot of, I mean, I know you said that you had the brown hair, but did you have to do any sort of makeup with it too, or not so much?
I think it was pretty natural. I can't really remember the I remember they
seemed like a lot of eyeliner.
just like mostly just some eyeliner and mascara, I think.
Okay, cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And do you remember like any of the directors giving you any sort of direction with when you were actually on set, or did they kind of just let you roll with it?
I did get like some stage direction stuff, like just to make sure that I was in the right, moving to the right spot, things like that. But I think they just really just trusted that I could just do that morose
oh my God
character, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not many people, or at least maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I feel like not a ton of people, or it would be very challenging for me to be as, I guess, like mellow with it. You know what I mean? I think it takes a lot of practice or natural ability.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like, there's something that I feel like a lot of actors are just born with a certain kind of ability for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think a lot of it is just experience too. Like the more you do it, the more auditions you go on, the more little things you book, you just really hone it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I always say that too about acting as well. It's just like the role that is meant for you is meant for you. And that sounds so simple, but that's kind of just what it is at the end of the day.
No, it's so true. It's like you're pretty much going to play, at least with TV and film, you're pretty much going to play a version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're
I
never
agree.
really going to be playing like I'm never going to, play at my age, I'm not going to, like how you would on stage, like I
Yeah.
could play like a crazy old lady on stage,
Yeah.
but it's a few years before I can do that on screen.
Right. That makes a lot
So
of sense.
yeah, so you're pretty much going to play some kind of extended version of yourself, which is kind of cool. I mean, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's embellished and it's fun because you can be creative with your own personality, or you can like take pieces of yourself that you haven't really explored, or you felt ashamed to explore, and just really let it all hang out in something it's actually acceptable to do. You know what I mean? Like you can be mean when you don't want to be mean, that kind of thing,
Yeah, I
which is
mean, like the
awesome.
Natalie character for me was like, I'm not really like a super emo or super dark person, but I like love to play with that in my life, but I also love
Yeah.
like to be like a sparkly fairy and, like
Mm-hmm.
I smell the roses every day and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not really like her, but like there is a side of me that is like her, like totally. So it's just so cool to be like, yes, I lived that and it's there forever.
Absolutely. Do you feel like you get recognized at all, or have
Oh
people
my
asked you
gosh,
about it?
I do
Really?
all the time.
Oh my God. Like just walking down the street or at
Yeah,
your music shows or both?
everywhere. Starbucks, like everywhere. I think it's just a show that has so many hardcore fans.
Yeah, that's true. It's a cult following for sure.
Yes, like people really love the show a lot. And so like I think they would recognize any of the guest stars or anything.
Yeah.
And people like love Aubrey too. So like I get to be connected to like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other day I went to a show with some friends and I went to go see the Mars Volta and we were like outside the venue afterwards. And like these people came up to me and they were like, "Oh my God, weren't you on Parks and Rec?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And my
Yes, I
friends were
was.
like, "Oh, Minnie, you're famous." I was like, "I'm not famous, but
You're famous to us.
I love it."
That is so cool. You know what? I wish I was that kind of maybe I don't. I don't know. I think it's fascinating when people go up to stars or people that they recognize from TV, because I very rarely do that unless it's literally after a concert or after a stand-up show and I see them outside. I'm like, oh my God, that show is so great. I'm a huge fan. But I find it hard to go up to people and be like, oh my God, you were on their show. But I guess for some people, it's such a huge part of their life that it really, like, just seeing you and making it known that they know you and appreciate you. Like, that's how I try to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I'm not like a huge celebrity or anything. I mean, maybe I would feel differently about it if it was happening to me like every day.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I would maybe not. I don't know, but I like it.
Yeah,
I like attention, so I'm like, yes, I did that. Thank you for
you're like, I'm
recognizing
fine.
me.
Yes, exactly. Say more things. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. And I was gonna ask too, because now you touched on a little bit, but now you're doing music. Were you doing music when you were on the show too?
Yeah, I've pretty much always done music. I pretty much
That's
have
awesome.
spent my whole life being a performing artist. Like I always wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be an actress and my parents were like, okay, because they know how like tough the industry is
Mm.
and also like it's kind of not great like for kids, to get into acting
Yeah.
when you're a kid. So it's not that they discouraged me from it, but they were like, well, if you want to be an actor, you should, well round yourself. You should do music, you should, do dance. I've been doing ballet since I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Oh wow.
So they're like, you should, study all the arts that you want to, so that when you're finally ready, you have like more well-rounded, artistry to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like really grateful for that. I didn't really get to start to do acting until I left home when I was like
Okay.
18. Yeah. Because they were like not so. But yeah, I always did music. I grew up playing flute. I studied flute classically. I think I started when I was
That's
like
awesome.
8. And then I did ballet.
Wow.
I went to an arts high school where I was a dance major. So I've done a lot of,
Yeah, you've trained.
yeah.
So your high school was at your where you're from originally?
Yeah, I'm from LA.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
Yeah, so
gotcha,
I grew
gotcha.
up like just around the industry and stuff.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
and I went to LA County High School for the Arts,
Oh,
which was like
amazing.
really cool. It was a
Yeah.
arts high school that had only about 500 students, so it was really small, and it was on a college campus. And so it was just like this totally different high school experience. It was kind of like
Totally.
the Fame high school,
Yeah.
but with there was also visual artists, so it wasn't just performing arts, but it was really cool because it was free. It was publicly funded. And so
Wow.
we had like kids from all kinds of walks of life there, like just people who had a lot of potential and worked really hard on their craft. And we were all really like self-realized at kind of a young age. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm really close with like all my high school friends still, and everyone's still doing like amazing things in the arts. And so that
That's so
really,
cool.
yeah, I'm really lucky that I got to go there because I think it really just made me more confident in who I was,
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is who I am, and this is my lifestyle, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, be an
Yeah.
artist.
Mm-hmm. And to be in that environment with so many other creatives and like-minded people where you could really grow and learn, that's probably such a blessing.
Such a blessing. Like I look back on that experience all the time and just so grateful because it really shaped
That's
me.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So if you grew up in LA, then yeah, I guess I could imagine why your parents would be like, "Wait, are you sure?" Because they've probably seen the industry too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they were both in the industry on the other side of things, like on the
Oh, like,
crew.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so my dad was a an art director and production designer. And when he was
Okay.
really young, he did like a little bit of acting and stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
my mom, she always like wanted to be an actor, but like she did some like little things. She
Mm-hmm.
was in like The Getaway. She had like a little part in that movie, The Getaway.
Okay, I'll have to look her
Um,
up.
yeah, our family, like we're kind of related to like Sam Peckinpah too. So
Who's
like
that?
he's like a famous like director. Like basically like Quentin
Oh,
Tarantino would like not be Quentin Tarantino without Sam Peckinpah. He
okay.
kind of made all these like really violent like westerns and things like that.
Yes. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
check him out. He's like a legendary director.
Okay.
So we like basically like her cousin married him and stuff like that. So they were like around, the industry.
So
And
they
then
knew.
and then my mom became an on-set dresser. And so
Oh, okay.
that's what she did until she retired. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's so cool.
what's actually funny is she actually worked on Parks and Rec, but it had nothing to do with like when I got the part, it had like nothing to do with my mom at all.
Wow,
I
weird.
know.
Wait, was she on there like for all the seasons or
No,
just a
I mean
couple?
they like basically like she got basically like they let her go because they didn't want it to be like a conflict of interest.
Oh, okay.
So she went on to a different show after the second season. Like once
Okay,
I got on
gotcha.
it, she like had to like move
Was
on
that
it.
like
I
a
was like,
weird
sorry,
conversation?
sorry, mom.
I know. I'm like, wait a second. Like, was she okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, she was always like working on like different shows and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she had somewhere else that she could go after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
she
that's
was like,
great.
I know, isn't that funny?
That is funny. And also it's so wild that you had family that was in the crew in general, so you kind of like knew how to act on set, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up around it. Like I remember when I was like maybe 9 or something, 8 or
Yeah.
9, I went to work with my mom and she was working on this show called the oh my gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, she was working on some show. And I distinctly remember this memory. Like I just remember walking onto the sound stage and like looking around and like smelling all the smells of like the wood and the this and the that and hearing all the people, seeing all the people going back and forth and everything. And I looked at her and I looked around and I was like, Mom, this is my life.
Oh
And
my
she was like,
God.
shit. Like, okay.
Just like, oopsies, shouldn't
Yeah.
have brought you here. No, that's awesome. What a great, I feel like I hear so many stories like that where it's almost like, it's like a religion in some senses where you like have this testimony moment that you just remember, this is it. This is where I am going to be for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
If in some way, shape, or form, it doesn't have to be the entire life, but that's what it was when we were kids, obviously.
No, for sure. You're like, it just connects with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
That is so fascinating. Well, props to Mom for letting you do that. Not, well, letting is a bad word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For working with you together.
Yeah. And she's so cute. She's so supportive of me and just like, she like helps me with like my auditions sometimes and
So
stuff.
cute.
And I'm just like, wow, what a blessing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I feel the same way about my sister and my mom. Sometimes, like, we'll read lines together. I find new readers now because sometimes I feel like my mom is just, like, reading the lines so, like, monotone, which is really cute and precious. And I can memorize lines that way. But I feel like if I'm doing an audition, I probably shouldn't have that as the background voice.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it's
I
really
don't think it
cute.
really matters who's reading the
You're
lines,
right.
but it matters for you.
Right. Like how I react to
Yeah.
it.
Like if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. But I
Right.
feel like the casting people don't care.
Yeah, they're probably like, whatever. It probably makes me shine more, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's like a whole new era now with self-tapes and everything. It's like,
Hmm.
and they know what the script is.
Right.
Like they've
That's
seen it
true.
1,000 times. Like it doesn't really matter what the other lines are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really great. Like, I mean, back to your point of, having supportive parents, because that's just not always the case. So I completely understand and agree.
I know, I'm so grateful, and she's really supportive with my music too. And
Hmm.
like it's so cute because like she'll like go on her jogs in the morning and she'll tell me that she was listening to my music on her jog.
Oh, I love
And I'm
that.
like,
That is
that just makes me so happy. Like,
I love that so much. Well, I do music too. I feel like we have a lot in common.
oh my
Because
gosh.
I was in LA for like 5 years ish, and then I moved to Nashville, which is where I'm at now, to
Oh,
record
nice.
my album because I knew a lot of people that were here. But I'm still like repped in the Southeast and whatever. So, but yeah, I love getting those texts where it's like it just means so much. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm not worthy of you listening to my music while you're like cooking or something, but it's also making me so happy.
Aw.
It's so cute.
I need to go to Nashville. I have like a couple friends there.
You should come
Yeah,
visit. Oh my
I
God, that would be so
know.
fun. It's
Yeah.
growing so much. So there's so much to do. Even like since I've been here, it's like skyrocketed the amount of like restaurants and shops and like new apartments and all the things. So many LA people are moving here too. But
Oh, for sure.
just as
Like
a city
all the
too.
friends that I know that are there like used to live in LA.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah.
And they're like, with this day and age, like you were talking about, I feel like so many things are shooting everywhere now. It's not just specific places like LA or New York and whatever. I mean, there are still obviously the industry there, but, it's really nice when people can kind of choose where they want to live and just, work wherever when they can.
Yeah, I've definitely thought about getting into a different like city and stuff.
Yeah,
Just because I mean LA is obviously like really saturated. Like there's a lot of
totally.
people here and which I feel like is good and bad.
Yeah,
There's
I
good things
know.
about that. And then there's also like, wow, it's like really competitive here.
Yeah. I
But
did love LA though. I'm one of the people, I feel like there's quite a few people that live here that are not super huge fans of LA. Like they like visiting, but they're like, oh, I could never live there. And I'm like, I loved LA so much. And it was like my heart home is what I call it. I feel
aw.
like if I were to go, I don't know that I can afford it right now, which is one of the reasons why I moved. Not only that, but also music. But like, I would definitely go back if I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many cool people here too that are just doing so
Yeah.
much, and it's like it's inspiring to me. Like I have a day job and I work for these two girls that are fashion designers. Basically, they're
Oh,
independent fashion
cool.
designers, but the stuff that they make is just like so unique and cool, and they're like just to be around them and to see their work ethic and how hard they work for their dreams
Yeah.
is so inspiring to me. And the fact that they're female business owners and they like don't need a man to like do, you know what I mean? They're doing it on their own and it's this unique vision. And that's how I feel about my music too. And so like when I come home from work, I'm just like, boom, get on Ableton and start like working on my music because I'm so inspired.
That's amazing.
To be around other people that are busting their
So balls. Leslie Knope of you, I feel.
Oh. No, it is. It's like I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's such a great time to be like a woman, honestly. Like things have been not great in the past, you know?
Yeah.
And it's up to us.
Yeah, we're still fighting. But at least I feel like there's more, you know, camaraderie and banding together to get this shit fucking done, if that makes sense.
No, it is, because I feel like before it's like women were pitted against each other or something.
And we're still fighting that too, but I feel like now we are definitely in a shift, I would say. And it's hard to stay positive in some regards depending on the circles that you spend your time in and what you look at on the news and everything.
Right.
But I totally agree that there are more good than bad. And we have the numbers for good is what this really awesome quote that from this other podcast that I listened to where they always say we have the numbers for good. We do, you know.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's really lovely. And also it's speaking of your day job, I think that's so important because my current day job is like sometimes draining, and so I feel like it's nice to have one that is inspiring you to do the things that you want to do too, and also like you can be an asset to them, but you're also really able to kind of put into motion the things that you've learned into your own life, into your own dreams, which is like, that's so cool. And
it's cool. I mean, like,
it's fun.
It's definitely takes a lot of, I think, like self-awareness and like assertiveness to make sure that your boundaries are in place, because easily, like, I'm a really hard worker, so I could easily be taken advantage of in like a work situation, especially for like a small business, you know? So I have to be very like, okay, I have to be strong about my boundaries, you know, with my time and my energy and stuff. But as long as you know what you need, you know, and you can speak for it and somehow work things out and balance it out, I think it's like, it's good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like I'm not going to be sending an email at 8 p.m. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless that is your boundary and you can work around that. But yeah, I hear that. And, well, okay, I've been meaning to ask you this, but we just got on a tangent, which I really love. I was going to, I love that. I love all of our tracks. What about your music? Tell me about your music and where can we find it? What kind of music is it? Like, tell me all the things.
Yeah. So my music project, my artist name is MJ Noble, and it's kind of like a fantasy themed electronica. So I'm the like sole producer and composer on the project. It's very like drum and bass inspired. It's like, so I produce everything. I make all the beats and everything, and then I sing. Yeah, I sing and I play flute and I play guitar. So I incorporate like all my musician stuff into the electronic aspect to create this like kind of unique thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I just released my second album this year with this really cool label called Doom Trip Records. They're based out of LA. And I got like some really cool press, which was nice. Yeah, The Wire reviewed my album, which
big deal.
Huge deal. I like cried. I was like, what? Oh my God, how did that happen?
That's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I got Bandcamp Album of the Day, and they wrote a really cool review too, and some other like press that I got. So it's kind of the first time that I've gotten press with my music stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful because it's all my own project. Like, it's like for years, I was in bands, you know, I was always a writer and a singer and performer, but I always collaborated with other people. And then when I wanted to get into more electronic stuff, I didn't know how to produce. Like, I didn't know how to use Ableton or any program like that. And it's very male dominated, that whole scene. And so for some reason, I thought I needed a guy to produce me. So I would like collaborate with different producers and stuff like that. And it was so frustrating. It was just like, not that the experiences were bad or anything like that. It's just that I had this vision. I just had this really strong vision and no one understood what that was.
Right. And you can't really communicate it in certain words a lot of the time. Sometimes you just have to get it.
Yeah. And it was like, they just thought I was weird too. They were like, well, that's cool, Minnie, like fantasy themed, whatever. And they're like, I don't know, like, let's just sample your one thing that you sang here and we'll sample it in the song. And I'm like, all right, cool. No, I know. So I had it in me one day. I was like, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to learn how to do this myself. Like, why can't I learn how to do this? I can play instruments. I'm a writer. I'm not an idiot. Like, I could probably figure this out. And so I just downloaded Ableton and taught myself the DAW. And it was like, I couldn't stop from there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best thing ever. Like,
that's so cool. I don't know if I've heard of Ableton. I know obviously everyone uses Pro Tools, and is it similar to that?
Yeah.
Or like Logic more so.
It's just similar. They're all basically you can basically do the same things in all the programs, but a lot of like electronic producers use Ableton.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a lot of them use it's just
like
really,
for beats and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like well, I use it for everything. Like I use it to record, to make the beats, to mix, everything. So it's just like you can do anything on the program. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to get into more of a Pro Tools vibe, but maybe I'll look into Ableton as well. Just because, I mean, I know they basically essentially all do the same things, but there are things that DAWs are better at. Like some are better at, one thing than the other. So it's just kind of finding what works for you and what your music is going to be heard as, if that makes sense, and what you kind of want it to do.
Yeah, because you're right. Because I feel like a lot of people I know that do more like instrument stuff, like they do more like live instruments. They more so use Pro Tools, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But for me, I'm doing a lot of like making, bass sounds and a lot of like crazy like drum pattern stuff and synths and things like that. So, and then incorporating live instruments with that. So Ableton's like perfect for me. But it's also the one that I learned, so I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, if you've learned one and you have that down pat, there's no harm in working on that forever, And then, like, if you build up or if you want to learn more, then you can move to the next one. If you've learned one, I'm sure things translate. But that's so cool. How were they, these producers you were working with, were they using Ableton?
Yeah, pretty much everybody that I worked with was using Ableton.
Oh, interesting.
So that's just, I was like, I guess that's the thing I got to get,
Yeah. That's so cool.
Except for maybe like one person. But yeah, like for the most part, they were all using Ableton.
Okay.
I feel like
oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, did you look into any like lady producers at all? Or did you find any?
There's like
besides yourself now?
They're out there, but there's like not that many of them. It's like kind of crazy.
If you can believe it.
It's like weird.
Yeah.
And every time I meet like a singer or a singer writer who was kind of on the path that I was before and is doing the thing that I was doing before, which was like collaborating with other producers, I'm just like, you should learn how to do it yourself. Like, take the power into your own hands,
Have you thought about producing anyone else's work ever if they were to ask? Or
I mean, I would love to do more of that stuff. This year was kind of the first year that I started doing, I started getting like commissions for things.
Oh, cool.
So I've done some work kind of in the like video game NFT realm where like people have commissioned me to make music for like their projects.
Wow.
Which is like really cool. I didn't know how I was going to feel about I mean, I was excited to try it,
Yeah.
But it ended up being like really, I don't know, just like really fun and really cool. And everyone really loved what I did. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I would love to keep doing this kind of stuff too.
Totally. Well, I feel like if there's a way that you can do something that you love and that you feel like you're good at and get paid for it, that's the dream.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's so cool. Well, what is like, are you on tour right now, or is that not really, or have you been playing out, or not really so
I
much?
didn't really play any shows. I think I was kind of just still, the pandemic and everything just had me
Yeah,
feeling like weird about performing. And
I hear you.
people started performing like pretty soon after things. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, not, I don't know how I feel about it. I was just conflicted.
I
And
agree.
then this year, basically, I had my album release, and then I wanted to like do a little tour, and then I started making another album, and
Yeah.
I've just been like so busy making this other album.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really done any shows this year, but I'm actually going to be hopefully doing some festivals next year.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
yeah, there's like a couple of festivals that have reached out to me to book some clubs in some different cities and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like start a music collective too.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
want to throw my own events and things like that and put on other like female artists and queer artists.
Yes,
And
that's so cool.
yeah, there's like definitely a lack of, there's like, you'd think LA would be progressive, but it's kind of not
Yeah.
actually. It's still
Yeah.
very like misogynistic and like white, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's weird because didn't this all start to be something else? Didn't electronic music start as like, a queer POC thing, you know?
Hmm.
And so I don't know. So me and some girlfriends are starting a music collective because we just want to create like a safe space.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think that would just inspire so many people and feel like they have a safe place to land, even if they're not a part of the collective. Just sometimes I think, I mean, that's just what representation is, right? Like knowing that something else is out there that someone else is doing that's like you. That's so inspiring
Yeah,
and
it can
powerful.
open doors for people. It is powerful. And I used to throw like events and stuff like parties, the drum and bass parties in LA.
Hmm.
And the last one that I threw, I really, really wanted it to be like to feel nice and like for women.
Yeah.
So we decorated it really beautifully and we had like free like spa water and just all these
Oh
things
my
like
God, that's so cool.
it was a more like feminine touch to it because the underground like electronic scene is pretty grimy in LA. And
Yeah.
it's just like we really like I know there's a lot of women and queer people who like love the music but like don't feel
Hmm.
comfortable in those like male dominated grimy spaces.
I hear you.
So I
Yeah.
feel really passionate about this and so that's my whole plan for 2023 is to throw some events with this collective and play some festivals and like put out this other album that I've been working on. So
That's so cool. Did you have a
yeah.
release today? Did I see that on Instagram?
What was
Something
that?
released today? Did you say something released today? Did I hear that?
Oh, I model for that brand, one of the brands that I work for.
Oh,
Yeah, and she
okay.
has a drop today.
Okay,
So she does,
gotcha.
yeah. So her brand is like both the brands that I work for, they do drops basically. So where they have all the stuff ready to go. And then I think it's at 4:44 p.m. They go, okay, it's live. And then everyone goes on and tries to get what they can because it's a
Gotcha.
limited amount of pieces because it's a small business.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so cool. What are they
So
called again?
the one that's dropping today is Disco Lemonade.
Okay. Oh, love that name.
And
Great.
she makes these like sparkly fairy dresses. They're so magical. They're like so cute.
Oh,
And then next week they have their collab thing, which is Disco Lux. So
okay.
they're gonna have another drop next week, but it's the two companies collabing. So it's Disco Lemonade and Lux Muse. And then they have the collab, which is Disco Lux.
Okay, gotcha.
So
That is so cool.
it is really cool. And it's like these are like the people that I get to like work with and be around and it's just really
Totally.
inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that you're creating a space because now, I mean, I just feel like now that we can be in control of who is out there, kind of like with TikTok and social media, and just like in general, the mindset of like, let's just start something and see what happens kind of deal, and put our heart and sweat and tears into it. People will come, and it's really lovely.
No, people will come because I feel it as a consumer, as a person who loves to go to hear certain kinds of music or like loves to go to these events, but I've had so many just honestly awful experiences with like men in the scene. And I know pretty much every nightlife kind of scene is like that. It's not just this one, but
no, I know.
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah,
just
I agree.
I'm like,
I'm so happy that that's a thing.
Yeah, it's like we don't need that. We don't need them.
Yeah,
we can do this, and we can provide a space, and like people that feel the same way are gonna want to come. So
yeah. That's definitely something I've been thinking a lot about for my like next project, music wise anyway, is having, I mean, I had an all girl band for most of my stuff, for not for recording, but for the live shows that I did, like releasing and whatever. But I would love to work with the lady producer next and see, like, you know, just build another environment. I love my current producer though. I really do. He's amazing, and I'll not stop working with him. But I definitely would love to like feel a different vibe and like see what other kinds of energies can be in the music, because it makes a difference. It truly does. People don't really understand how tangible an energy can be, especially if you're creating something.
Oh, it makes a huge difference. And we understand each other on a different level too.
Yes, 100%. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
And when you do shows and whatever, are you bringing instruments, or are you bringing like kind of okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I didn't know if it was kind of like, have you seen Lorde perform? Or
I haven't seen her perform. Oh yeah, Imogen Heap. I've seen videos of her perform. She's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. And they have like, well, Lorde has kind of like a loop pedal almost, but also some other like electronic things that is above my knowledge, but some of them bring on their own instruments too. So I wasn't sure what kind of setup you have.
Yeah, basically the stuff that I'm developing for my 2023 shows is kind of, there's like 3 different types of sets that I'm doing. So one is just like a DJ set, which like will incorporate some of my original stuff. And then the other one is like a hybrid DJ set where it's like more of my original stuff, but then I'm playing flute live and singing live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then there's like a full live set, which is all my original music. And I'm like, you know, singing on every track and dancing and playing flute. Yeah.
That's so cool. Maybe you and Lizzo can have a flute moment together.
Oh my.
When she figures out about the music collective.
That would be amazing. She's an amazing flautist, actually.
So good. Oh my God.
I had no idea because I knew that she played flute, but I had only seen clips of her just kind of doing like little trills and things like that. But then I recently saw her like really playing flute, and I was like, oh my God, she's like incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My sister was telling me about, she played that video that went viral that she played like some, oh God, I forgot who it was, but she was playing this like old flute from
crystal
like a bajillion
flute.
years ago. Yeah, the crystal flute. I can't remember whose it was.
Some president, I think, or something.
Famous white man. But and like my sister said that like people in the comments were being really like hateful because of her race and like all these stupid ass shit. And I'm like, do you not see how fucking brilliant she's being right now? Like, I don't, what
That's just
the world?
disgusting.
It's so despicable. I was like, how dare you bring that one thing up when the talent that's being portrayed is so much more important? What are you talking about? It was so insane.
That's crazy to me.
It is. I mean, obviously, like, I wouldn't think about that. But, like, people are so hateful sometimes.
No, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about depending on who you're surrounded by, you know, what you see or whatever. I mean, I'm in LA surrounded by, like, really amazing artists and very, like, liberal thinkers, you know? So when I see stuff online, it's just shocking to me. Like, I'm like,
you can do anything behind a screen, though. Is what I always
true.
tell myself.
That's true. Like, say it to my face, you know?
Yeah, bitch. Like, so dumb. But that's
I know.
so cool.
Every time I always like, anytime I comment something online, people like go crazy on me for some reason, and I just block people now because I'm like, I don't have the energy to like talk to ignorant assholes.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. It's like people don't understand. Like, I can control my social media circle too and my algorithm, so I can block you. I don't like, it's so crazy.
I think
unless you do have the energy, which I think do you follow Jamila Jamil at all?
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
She's amazing, and I follow her podcast as well. But she has, I feel like, I can't imagine the amount of hate comments she gets just, well, I mean, because I've seen some of them, so I imagine there's more. But again, there are also good people commenting on that. Back to we have the numbers for good. However, I can't imagine the amount of like energy that because she responds to some of them, actually a lot of them that I've seen. And either will tell them off or try to like understand what they're even saying, but a lot of the time she's just like, I don't think you understand what you're saying and this X, Y, and Z are the facts kind of thing. I'm just like, I don't know how you do that.
I mean, she's clearly, when I look at her and the work that she's doing, it's like that's her life path for sure.
Yeah.
Like she's an activist. Like that's her battle that she's like on the front lines of that battle, you know, and she probably will be for her whole life. And like we need people like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Bless
100%.
her. Bless her soul.
Bless.
Like
Totally.
I definitely like to speak my mind and things like that, but I also have to protect my energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% hear that. And I feel like, I mean, Jamila, from what I've heard on her podcast and what she shares, is that it's been a long journey to get to where she is now and like how she can exert that much energy on people or responding to these people. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think it was always like this.
Right.
But like you said, I think once she kind of maybe learned that this is, you know, something that she's super passionate about, it makes it not easy, but more bearable, I guess.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, but okay, wait. So what? How can we follow your music, and how can we follow you on Instagram or Facebook or anything? Website.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what we can follow. I know, obviously, but tell the guests.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me, my Instagram is, I have to look it up because I always forget. It's at mj.noble.
Okay.
And that's my music name, so you can find me on Bandcamp. My albums are on Bandcamp. My albums are on Spotify. I think they're on like everything, like Apple Music, YouTube Music, like all the streaming stuff. But yeah, I have like links on my Instagram too. But my Instagram's kind of the place that I'm like the most active.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like all your fashion stuff too. I follow you, and you're a great follow. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like people have told me like, oh, you should like only post about your music or only post about your acting.
No.
And I'm like, I'm just too into too many things. Like, and I want to like share it all, you know?
The amount of times I've been told that is astounding. I mean, I understand, especially if I'm promoting something. Like when I was doing my record, I like was told that too about my website. Like, if you're gonna go for music, then you should probably take some of your acting stuff down. And I was like, no. But I mean, I think for like promoting it, I like hid some of the stuff and then I just put it back on after the promoting was done, because I'm just like, it's still me, you know, and I'm not going to be in a box. Although I do understand your algorithm and your reasoning, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah, I think if I had like a team or something, like a social media team, then it would be easier to maybe separate things. But it's like, it's just me doing doing all this stuff, guys.
Right.
It's just going to be in one place. I don't know, until I can hire somebody.
See, I'd rather that and have like a smaller, more engaged group than like random ass followers that don't really know what I'm about, you know, and don't really support. They just want like another follower, another like, you know? Yeah.
I feel like the people that follow me, a lot of the people that have been following me for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they were like, because I used to like sing in a metal band like years ago.
Oh, wow.
Like some person the other day was like, I've been following you since MySpace. I was like, whoa.
That's amazing. You created such a loyal fan base.
People have like been on the journey with me, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like, thank you for like believing in me like this whole time and supporting me. Like, even though like I don't really know you, but that's so cool. Like, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time with me. This was so fun and turned into like such a cool, deep moment that I really enjoyed. It's really awesome.
I'm so happy. Thank you for hitting me up. I'm glad I got to be on this. So cool.
Me too. too. And if you want, you can obviously think about it, and I can cut this out if you'd like. But if you want, and if you like want to promote a certain song, I'm happy to play a clip of it or something at the end if you want.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I mean, I'm obviously going to listen anyway, but you just tell me which one, and I will put it in there.
Yeah, for sure. Let me think on it. Have you heard any of it?
I've heard one. I listened to one before. I can't remember the name of it though. I'm the worst. But I'll tell you.
You're like me. I can never remember the names of things.
I'm the actual worst at that. I'm like, it's that one that goes like this. Yeah. It's so dumb.
No, even with my own stuff, I'm like that.
Yeah, I know. Same. I'm like, ugh, God, names. But yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. This was so fun. I'm so happy I got to talk to you, Minnie. And let me know if there's any updates or anything we can do to support you. But we'll keep the train going. You're doing all the right things.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
You too. Thank you for changing our lives and being Natalie. But also being you, obviously.
Have a beautiful day.
A good one. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
People preaching positive.